On day one, new role before single KPI is reviewed, or single strategy deck is opened. Something else is already being decided in every corridor, Zoom window, WhatsApp groups. Can we trust this leader? Do they look like a person we want to follow into uncertainty? In the world of where careers are accelerated or stalled, screenshots and side comments, executive image is no longer nice to have polish at the end of success. It's the opening line for your leadership story and the silent pitch that plays before you speak and the future CXOs. That's the story starts far earlier than the corner of the office. Right now, businesses are navigating AI disruption, cybersecurity, global disruption, competition, and relentless growth pressure. Technology shapes visibility, cybersecurity shapes trust. Across four pillars, one question keeps coming back. Does the leader inspire confidence in boardroom or on live stream, on LinkedIn, in everyday moments? Before we dive into the topic, let's have a small video about Power of Knowing Forum. Today's episode brings a specialist who doesn't just talk about leadership presence, she engineers it. Aarti Sharma is the founder of 360-degree Image Consulting, an international certified image consultant and corporate trainer, and a trusted guide for professionals who want to move from good at job to ready for the CXO's chair. She helps leaders design their visual, verbal, and digital presence as a strategic asset across technology, cyberspace, trust, navigate strategy, aligns and growth outcomes. Let's welcome Arti to our podcast and dive into the topic. Hi Arti, welcome to our podcast. How are you today?
A very good evening to you, Prem, and I'm truly humbled by your introduction. And thank you so much for inviting me yet again at your platform. And it's always a pleasure to connect with the audience through your platform. I'm super excited for today's talk as well.
Yeah. Arti, you've been an advisor. You've given a lot of advices for us throughout the platform last 2.5 years. And you've been a support that we have brought you about this is the fourth time I think you have been part of our podcast. Thank you for the relentless support that you've been giving us. And the first question that I want to ask is, when does the executive image really begin and who is actually shaping it?
A very good question. And surprisingly, your executive image begins the moment you step outside of your home, or the moment you step inside of the area where you are meeting people, whether it is your digital presence, whether it is you speaking with somebody in your social life, whether it is you taking up an important task in your professional sphere. The problem is that we human beings are subconsciously judging each other. And even if we try not to acknowledge it, it all happens at a very subconscious level, and that is human. When I say judging, I would say that people notice you, and especially if you are a leader or you are aiming to become one, all eyes are on you. So, definitely, your image begins the moment you decide to show up as who you are.
That I think what you are saying is people look at from far and decide how you show up, right? So that's the first point that we are getting from what you are saying. How early in career should professionals start thinking about executive image if they aspire to the CXO role maybe in 5-10 years?
Very good question, Prem. And I would say, in the initial year of our career, any industry you look into, basically everybody is interested in your hard skills, your technical expertise, or your work that you do. Then, for example, 5 to 6 years in the professional life, now these are not only the hard skills that matter. Now your soft skills come into the play. It is not only how technically sound you are, it is how your interpersonal relations are, how you are able to communicate with the stakeholders. And Prem, the reality is that at senior positions, we just don't need subject matter experts. We need real people who can lead the teams, who can lead by example. And in today's world of AI, more than any other time, human skills are most celebrated and needed. So, very important is that after a few years, see, initially when you are applying for a job, again at the time of interview, whether you are a fresher, fresh out of college, now that time also your image plays a huge role. How you project yourself, how you conduct yourself, how confident you are during your interviews, that is an important part. Then I would say, put all your energies in the first few years of your career in building your hard skills. You should be expert in what you should be doing, and then later on start building your human skills, start building your soft skills, your communication skills, because from there, these are your interpersonal skills that take you ahead, and not just your technical expertise.
What you're saying is the first pointer is you need to build interpersonal skills because you need to understand how people are and how to navigate through them over the journey. Then the ladder sets where you can step on and bring in technical skills because technical you can learn, but these leadership skills have to be developed is what you're saying, Arti. Am I right in saying that, Arti?
Yes, you are right, Prem. And especially, see, leaders are not somebody who are just subject matter experts.
Hmm.
Leaders are those who inspire trust in others, especially if there is a time of crisis, or there is an alarming situation. Now, at that time, we do need subject matter experts, but we need somebody looking at whom people should feel that yes, we are in the right hands. So somebody who can hold themselves in tough situations is what leadership is all about. And your executive presence, if you are able to build it, work on it right in time, only then you will be able to build that gravitas wherein you can handle tough situations effectively.
Got it, Arti. So what you're saying is you need to build that structure so that you can handle tough situations and understand people, and that brings in the executive presence in yourself as a journey itself. So that's where we start, right? And
Absolutely. And if you are not aware of the importance of your executive presence, there's an alarming thing that I want to say, that if you don't work on it strategically, people can even tarnish it. So you need to work on your image, like you work on your health, you work on your skills. So this is another important skill, and it's not good to have skill anymore. It's a must-have skill.
must have skill.
Because if you are eyeing a senior position, you need to showcase that yes, you are ready for that.
Got it, Arti. Now, what's one one mistake people make the new role that damages their future CXO brand without them realizing it itself?
Okay, so if somebody has just risen to a new position or somebody is eyeing at a CXO position,
Yeah.
one common mistake which people make is that, you know, announcing their competence too loud.
Okay.
I would say that build relationships first. Your competence would speak for itself. And if you are not able to build your presence first, then sometimes other stakeholders or maybe those who are not so who don't know you so well as yet, they might feel insecure. So it's a strategy that your personal branding should be done in a strategic manner. That I always say that personal branding is not personal bragging. That don't start bragging about what you have done, what you plan to do. Let the work showcase
Sure.
itself, and you work on first building the base, I would say the bedrock, and then, of course, and building your image along with it, your presence along with it, instead of just making others feel insecure.
Got it, Arti. Now, how can an aspiring CXO design a 360 image that supports their long term leadership story?
Very important question. Yes, an aspiring CXO needs to build, I would say, we always used to say three core elements, but now times have changed. So now these are four core
Okay.
elements. So when I talk about these core elements, this is A, B, and C. Now another D is added to it. So A stands for appearance,
Mm,
B is for behavior, C is communication, and D is your digital presence. So these are the four core elements of your executive presence which you need to work on. So starting with A, it is your appearance, how you, everything that is visible on your outer self, everything that is visible on your outer self says something about your inner self. And if you do not work on it consciously, sometimes you end up giving wrong signals, especially at the leadership positions. It's important that you dress and groom in a certain way which is in alignment with your industry standards, and yes, that inspires confidence in others. Why appearance is important? See, appearance is one pillar. Let me clarify one thing: executive presence is not about styling. Your outer appearance is definitely an integral part of your entire personality, because human beings are visual creatures.
right.
We listen through our eyes, and the moment we look at somebody, in less than 5 seconds, we notice so many different things about them. In fact, we judge people over 12 various parameters. And if you are not strategic about it, if you are not careful about it, sometimes your first impression kills your presence. And we all have heard this common saying, first impressions are lasting impressions. And first thing we notice is in how a person looks, how well groomed this person is. And a very simple thing which I always say, that we all want respect. Isn't that, Prem? And for leaders, it is extremely important that they should inspire trust in their teams. And I say that easiest way of getting respect is looking respectable. I
Think
think that is
what
the
you're
easiest way.
the
So,
pointer that you are saying is you present yourself in such a way that people are feeling that you are presentable. Am I right in saying that, Arti?
yes, yes. And I'm not just talking about that you look like a fashionista, but you should be well groomed. Everything about your appearance should be well coordinated. Nothing about you should be disturbing. For example, sometimes people wear a shirt which has a broken button. They just feel that, oh, it's not important. If you are wearing a white shirt and there's a small, I would say, a spot on it, that creates a negative impression. These small things, they definitely tarnish your image. So A is your appearance, B is your behavior. And you would agree with me, Prem, it's not what you say, it is how you make others feel. You can speak great things, you can tell great stories, but if people do not feel comfortable and safe around you, then you can never go ahead. Even if you are given a position, you won't be able to sustain it, you won't be able to win over the teams. So B is your behavior, your etiquette, your mannerism, how you are able to respect others' opinions, how you handle a difficult situation. See, an integral part of executive presence is gravitas, how you are able to bring, I would say, weight to your presence. So that is B, behavior. The third core element is communication. And we all know communication is the cornerstone of leadership. And I would like to quote Indra Nui here, my favorite leader. She said that if there is one skill that helped me the most to become a CEO, reach those great heights, that is my communication skills. And she worked on it consistently. It's not a one day journey. You cannot just build your executive presence in a day or two. It's a journey. And after C, now D. So Prem, what do I have to say is you have created a platform, a digital platform where so many people connect with you. People know you through this platform, who you are as a person, what value you bring to the table. For example, if somebody goes through your LinkedIn profile, or if you are applying for a senior position and maybe your recruiter scans your LinkedIn profile, what would they find? What is your LinkedIn profile speaking about you? That is very important. So your digital presence works for you even when you are sleeping. So you have to be very careful about what kind of image you are projecting on various digital platforms. And remember, people can immediately catch a vibe. It's not that you can just showcase a polished image on a digital platform, maybe a Facebook or a LinkedIn, and people would believe that. Somehow we human beings are so intuitive. We are able to find a difference between an authentic person and somebody who's just trying to portray becoming somebody else. So, important is that you need to work on these four important pillars: A, appearance; B, behavior; C, communication; and D, your digital presence, that too in an authentic way.
Thank you, Arti, for that. I think it sounds like the four pillars that we are talking about in our podcast, where we talk about the four pillars, where we talk about tech. Tech needs cyberspace. So, cyberspace is there. When you have cyberspace and tech, you need some strategy to bring it. So, we bring the two pillars again onto the third pillar, and the third pillar goes to the growth side, where we talk about how you need to look at these kind of programs. We talk about the four pillars, strategy and growth there. So, tech, cyberspace, growth and strategy is what we have as a four pillars. Now we are saying ABCD is one more important thing that you need to look at when you have your executive presence image to be made felt across people. So amazing points. What are the key components of 360-degree image across? You said few things, but I want to make it more emphasized, saying that image across appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. So these were, what could be the key parameters? Now you said all these A, B, C, D, right? So how do you take those key parameters here?
So, one is we very in our image management society, we always say that do not dress for the role you have,
Hmm.
dress for the role you want to
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And people are able to gaze your readiness for the next role through how you project yourself. So it is in your hands how you project your readiness through your dressing, your grooming. Your body language plays a huge role. Is your body language reactive, or is your body language composed? That is an important part of how your appearance. So see, when I say appearance, it is not just about dressing and grooming. It is also about how you carry yourself. You must have seen, Prem, how some people just by entry to a room, they own the energy of the room. How they take up space, how they sit, how they stand, how they make eye contact, how much smile to make, how much, how for how long they should lock eyes with the key stakeholders. Everything is determined. Everything determines their confidence and announces their arrival. So your appearance has got all these elements, including your body language. And so many times I've seen leaders losing great opportunity because of negative body language. So you need to learn this fine art.
No, what I did is while I was talking to you, I made a pointer that you wanted to have these 4 points, right? So I've copied and pasted that into your chat window so that we have that also listed out here. So A, B, C, D are as below: appearance, behavior, communication, digital presence. So that's the pointer that I put on the chat for you people to refer it at a later stage. Coming to the next point that I want to understand is, if we have to reduce an executive image to three powerful daily habits, what would be they?
Awesome question. Daily habit means the moment your day starts.
Right.
How you start your day plays a great role in how your day pans out. So if you are getting up in the morning anxious, or oh I'm late, or with oh I have to do so much, with the thought process of anxiety, this is what you are attracting. So we all are, Prem, among I think all the audience who are listening to our conversation today, we all are among the first 1% of the entire world's population. We are well fed, well educated, healthy individuals, responsible individuals. And if we don't start our day with a smile, with happiness, who else would do? So I would say my first tip is the moment you get up from the bed, smile. Smile intently. I'm not saying you don't use your phone, or I'm not asking you to have a long, lengthy daily routine. You meditate or you don't meditate. Whatever, you exercise or you don't exercise, entirely up to you. But at least start your day at a positive note, because when you start your day with an intentional smile, you are giving the signal to the universe that I'm happy. And then the universe sends you
Yeah,
more situations to be happy about. So an integral part of leadership is being in control of your situations. Nobody would like to connect with you or look at you as a leader if you are just not able to handle yourself. So handling yourself in a calm and composed manner first thing in the morning, grounding yourself, is of utmost importance. That is one habit. Then, if you say second habit, I would say that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
everything.
So, if you are able to handle yourself well, you will be able to handle your time well. So, one important aspect which I really value is managing your time effectively. See, time is the only resource which is perishable. You cannot get it back, whatever you do. So, money lost can be regained, re earned, but time lost, nobody in this world can bring back a single moment that you have lost. So, if you are 50 years old and 50 years have gone, even
True.
if you give the entire world's wealth, you cannot bring those years back. So, time management is self management. So, So another important thing, when you know you have to make bigger decisions, don't let your small decisions overwhelm you. Like, I have seen people, quite so many senior leaders telling me that, Ati, oh, it's so difficult for me to decide what to wear. So you, just like you prepare for the day, you need to prepare your wardrobe also. And it's not, you do it once and then you are done. Once you understand how to uh, set your wardrobe, because I would say that a well set wardrobe, a clutter free wardrobe, has a direct impact on the clutter free mind. So, if you are well organized, then it will reflect in your decisions also. So, these are very small things, very, very small things, but they are the pillars of creating a strong executive presence. And from these smaller things, we move to the much deeper things, which is definitely working on your self development. It's not about just looking good, it's not about communicating in a charismatic way. It is more to do about how you make others feel, how you are able to understand others, how you are able to listen to them. A very important part which so many times we miss out on is that we think communication is all about talking, talking, talking. How do I learn better words? How can I polish my vocabulary? How can I learn some impressive phrases? Actual communication is about listening. भगवान ने हमें दो कान दिए हैं, एक मुंह दिया है, किस लिए? To listen more and speak less. So
Yes.
your words should carry weight, and not too many words are not going to make much of a difference. Over explaining, something which kills your leadership.
Yeah.
Over explaining. Instead of speaking too much, I would say just pay half of the energy to listening better. Be a better listener. Listening intently would transform your game.
I was reading Simon Sinek's book where he says the leaders speak last, right? So the first pointer that is coming to my mind is you need to listen. So listening skill is a greater skill that a leader should possess, is what we've been talking in many of the podcasts where we said if you are able to calm down and talk last at the meeting, I think you are well done, because you get a lot of perspectives which people have in the room, which you can think and give better solutions or better results that you can achieve, because every thought will add up to the decision that you want to take up, is what we understood, right? So in the same context, in the high stake rooms, board meetings, investor reviews and crisis calls, how much does executive image influence trust and decisions?
So just adding to what you were talking about, Simon Sinek's quote, and I think we all, we most of us must have heard Nelson Mandela's story, that how his leadership has evolved because his father was the head of
Yeah.
the village, and he would always invite all the important members, all the people who mattered to the for discussions, and they would sit
Okay.
in a circle, like what we call a round table meeting these days. And then Nelson Mandela's father would always listen to each one of them and then speak in the last. So, again, like what you said, you will be able to collect all the information, process it while you are, before you actually give your opinion, plays a huge role. So, Prem, could you please repeat the question? I was in another
No.
uh,
What I
thoughts.
wanted to check is in high stake rooms, right? Like boardrooms, investor meetings, or investor reviews, crisis calls. How much does executive image influence trust and the decisions that are taken, right? So that's the point.
See, extremely important, especially in boardrooms. See, your team members would always mirror your
Hmm.
leader. Your employees would always mirror the leader. So, if a leader is able to showcase calm in a crisis situation. If a leader is able to present his viewpoint or his vision by being confident and showcasing gravitas, I think that is how others would follow. You should walk the
Hmm.
talk and not just feel that others would listen to what you are saying. See, people don't see people are not going to do what you say. They do what they
Yeah.
see. How you handle yourself, if you are able to showcase too much of stress and anxiety, and that percolates down to the last person. And especially, see, we all have seen during COVID how a leader can transform the entire nation's perspective about a certain crisis situation. So, very important it is how a leader is able to communicate trust among the team members and, of course, in high stake meetings.
Got it. Now, how or what do boards and senior stakeholders subconsciously look in a leader, right? The image before their trust or their strategy.
Very important part. Let me ask you, Prem. Let's not talk about board
Hmm.
members right now. Even if you have to hire at a junior position, there are two
Hmm.
candidates. One is, somebody is very sharp, good, extremely competent, and there's another person, but you are not sure of his integrity. He is extremely competent, bright, but you are not sure of his integrity. Then there's another person who has limited, I would say, competencies. He has an attitude to learn, but you can trust him. Whom would you like?
The first part comes to the trust is what I understand, Aarti, because if I trust, I can leverage his capabilities, train him if skills are required. So that is my take on it, Aarti.
100%, and that is what we need in leaders today, especially in board.
Hmm.
If you are not able to build trust, then your strategies will never land. You can see, we I read in that book called Mindset by Carol S. Dweck. Have you read that book? An amazing book
Yeah, I've
that
read.
distinguishes uh, growth mindset from a fixed mindset. So in that, they talked about the difference how leaders of fixed mindset leaders, they, even if they are great at their strategy, if they are not able to inspire trust among other stakeholders, they are not able to take the entire team together. And that is what is required. We need leaders to lead and not just strategize. And especially in today's time when AI has come, there are so many important tasks which AI can do. But being empathetic, being human, it's only a leadership quality that only humans can showcase.
I was looking at the books that I have. So I have mindset book here right now.
So I
So
just,
that is
yes,
Carlos, right? So I thought
2026.
I'll check whether I kept it here or kept it somewhere else. So that's why I moved out of my camera and checked the book first whether it is there. So it is there, and I've
So
been reading that.
Prem, so this new year I took a, I would say I decided that I'll be reading one book every month.
Okay.
Otherwise, in our busy schedules, we are not able to bring out a specific time for book reading. And with so much of noise these days, social media, this and that. So the good news is that I finished my book even before half the month. So I'm very excited to start a new book now.
Now I think what I do when I look at books is I've listed out many of these things, and I am not a book reader but an audio listener. So to give
Hmm.
that, so I buy those books, keep it, and listen to
I
podcast or
did that. Exactly what I've been doing all my life. But this new year, I want to go back to basics and start reading. And I'm telling you, Prem, I'm loving it. That smell of pages. when you that that soft voice, the noise that comes when you turn to the other page. I think that's meditative.
Now that's the same pointer my daughter also says, that you forget audiobooks, you start taking a book in your hand and start reading. The difference is amazing. So that's the point that I want. I'll take your point. Your watch strategy is there. So I'm still wearing a watch. Yes, I do. And you told me to wear a suit with a clean shirt. So that's the step that I've been taking. So your words honored and kept all through the podcasts, right? So
Thank you,
next
thank
point,
you.
the next point that I want to understand is, can poorly managed image quietly keep someone out of the boardroom even if they are technically strong?
100%, and this has happened with many of my clients. So let me share a story of one of my uh, super competent uh, client. So she is now a partner with PwC, and you know, Prem, for women to reach up to that level at top positions, still there are not many women takers,
Hmm.
not many women leaders. And the reason being that those positions demand a lot of extra work. And since women are juggling between families, society, and of course their professional life, so many times they kind of become reluctant. So there's a client of mine, she came to me 2 years back, and now she's a partner with PwC. She's been working with PwC for good 13 years at that time. And then she said that, Aarti, I have come to you because I've got a feedback from my mentor that we don't think, we are very happy with your work ethics, your competencies, your technical skill set. But let me give you a feedback that we don't think that you project the image of a leader. We
Okay.
don't think that you are ready to face the panel interview, which is mandatory for a partner level position in PwC. So she came to me and she said that, very simple woman, extremely hardworking, who works 12 to 13 hours a day. And you understand, you need that much of work at that level with two daughters. You can understand with in a joint family with in-laws. We have to juggle so many things. I'm not saying that, I'm not taking credit away from men in any way, but I'm sharing her story, and we strategically sat together. It's not that we don't give a program or just a course. We have a first diagnostic session. This session is called image scope, in which we gauge the scope of her image enhancement, where she is right now, and what does she require to
Hmm.
change to reach the partner level position. And Prem, we curated a 6 months journey with her, initially 3 months.
Okay.
And she was so happy in that 3 month journey. She said, Aarti, I want to extend it, because she was enjoying it so much. See, these are some very small micro tools which create an impact at a macro level. Your image creates an impact at a macro level without you even knowing it.
True.
And Prem, next year, she was chosen for the partner position. Sh- And the best part is that now, whosoever is ready for that panel interview, she's the one who's mentoring them. She's the one who is sharing all the A, B, C, and D tips with them. And she's been sending those people to me on a regular basis, who 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 need to work on their image, because your image speaks volumes about who you are as a person. And if you do not strategically work on it, sometimes it may stop you from reaching the top.
Arti, I'll second your point, because we spoke this same pointer in our previous podcast also, where we said this. The first point, when we started also, we said that, right? People will notice you 10 about 10 feet away itself, saying that this is what you can do and this is how you can do, the way you dress, the way you walk, and the way you present yourself when you come near also. This is what you said in our previous podcast, but I still keep that in mind, and I have told many people about that, because first impressions last, right? And they don't lie also, right? And that is a gut feel that they get when somebody is, and connecting to a image, uh, and a governance and a trust, which brings up a lot of clarity, composure, and stuff like that. And between words and the body language, there's a lot of difference that happens when you see at the first time. So this is my take based on what we've been talking in previous episodes and the current episode. Now, how should leaders adopt their image when operating across cultures, across geographies, and the virtual teams? Because after COVID, I think we are not one location organization, we are global location organizations, global
Absolutely,
teams, and
absolutely.
cultures are different. This is one thing that I wanted to understand from you.
Very important point because Prem, I speak to so many leaders and mid management people, and they say that they've been working in the organization for too long years and they feel so distant
Hmm.
because nobody switches on the videos. It's all about finishing the tasks. And it becomes a leader's role becomes even more important in such a scenario. So, one, when you are, and we all are working with multinationals where there are people from all various continents sitting in their own offices or at home, and then we are having meetings online. So, first, very important thing is that when you are working with people from different nationalities, different geographies, you must do a little bit of homework. That what are the things which are not taken, which are not digested easily in a particular culture. For example, so there are cultures where there, like our India is a high hierarchy culture, and then there is US where there is a flat hierarchy where everybody is at the same level, nobody calls each other sir. But because we have that British hangover, so we all, and not only British, see, in our culture only we always give respect to elders or maybe seniors. So depending on all these things, you have to do your homework. If you are I last year recently last year I did a program for one of the organizations. You must have heard about MDocs. So
Hmm.
where they were all HR leaders, 25 HR leaders from 7 different countries. And I can say one thing, and it was a challenge because they were joining from different time zones. Somebody was joining early in the morning, somebody was joining late at night, and then you had to engage with them and bring them to the same energy. And I tell you one thing, Prem, I was also a little bit, excited and a little bit, anxious about the entire thing. How would I be able to communicate with all of them effectively? And I realized that there is one language that everybody understands, which is the language of humanity and love. And I'm not preaching here. In that particular program, we there was so much of open house discussions, and this is what leaders need to do. It's not only about work. I understand. See, when people feel that they belong, then they take more ownership of their work. But when they feel that they are just finishing task after task, then they don't feel belongingness. So, 2 3 things which leaders must keep in mind is go through the read and inquire about the culture of any particular nationality that they are working with, because sometimes unknowingly we end up hurting others. Then of course try to keep your cameras on, because what a leader would do others would follow. At
Yeah.
least looking at each other. Now today we are talking, I'm able to see you, so there's a connection that is happening. We can do it in an audio live also, but
Yeah.
that energy doesn't translate. And then third is having some open house discussions, having some fun sessions, fun meetings, not just for delegation of tasks. I think that that is how we need to work in special, especially in these virtual situations. And koi na koi, if these are different locations in India, or if you can afford, we must have. So we go to so many of these special sessions or special programs, a 2 day program or a 2 day
Yeah.
boot camp, wherein they call all most of those senior leaders or mid management leaders and even new joiners during their induction, where they are meeting each other for the first time. So there is a kind of a cross functional connection that happens there.
Arti,
So
that
it has to
very
take.
important point because I was see I don't know whether it's the right statement or not. I just want to voice out. I've had faced a situation like that where uh, cultural differences, right? So I didn't know that asking, "Can you do please?" is hurting somebody in a different culture, right? I had responded to three mails and I did not get a response. So I wrote, "Can you please look at it?"
Hmm.
So when I got a call from my boss saying that, "How can you write that?" Said I said, if somebody is not answering, I thought, "Can you look at it if you have missed it?" That is the intention. Now in that culture, they said if you say please look at it means means you didn't do it, so you do it now. Okay, so I went little back and then I had a call because another mail would trigger much more confusion.
Ah, escalate it.
So I called the customer and I said, "Can we have a call?" So I said, "I think there is a gap that I understand. In India, please means please look at it in a sense that I am requesting. But if you feel offended, I'm really sorry for that. I will never use when I write to that kind of a culture people where I will never say please look at it." So I said, "Have a look at it." That's what I can say. So please is on. Then she said, "No, if you say please, you're ordering me," is what she said, and I felt offended is what she told. Then
I
I
think
said,
this story is really going to help so many of our listeners today. And I can give you one small tip here, Prem, and to everybody who's listening, for myself also. Whenever you are working with cross cultural teams, I think the best way is asking the a relevant person that how can I best show respect here? Ask this there.
"Hmm,
A very simple line would change the entire game. That would showcase your intention of respecting them, fitting in, and a desire that, yes, I'm a part of it. It's never me versus you. How can I best show respect here? Would give you a lot of clarity in such situations.
great, Arti. I have one last question, then we will go into the comments that we have, right? What's one universal image principle that works whether you are in Bangalore, Berlin, or Boston?
As I always say, that your smile speaks 1,000 words. But when I say smile, I would say a genuine smile touches everybody's heart. And I don't want you to grin. Let me be very, very precise in this. I don't want you to give a dry, official smile, a genuine smile. And how much to smile, when to smile, how much eye contact to make. Your body language speaks much before you open your mouth. So that is something which works in every culture. Your open body language, right amount of eye contact, and yes, a pleasing smile. This is what really matters. I cannot hear you, Prem.
Sorry, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you earlier.
sure. These comments I'm bringing up one by one. So this is one comment which started at the start of the session. Thank you for joining, ma'am. And the next question is, she says like one with the statement there, and so Ashok says world skills matter. So you any pointer there, Arti?
So I think the person wants to say that the words which you use or your communication skills matter. I think this is when we started the
Yes, I
session
think,
talking about that, in the initial years, your hard skills matter and then your communication skills matter. Thank you so much,
thank
Mr.
you.
Ashok.
So Ashok, Renu says nice suggestions, and then we have Dinesh saying hey. Then we have Ravi Kumar saying walk the talk when we are talking about a pointer where how you communicate with the team member and how you talk is what ends this one. Then we have again Ravi saying able to empathize between different layer of org and respond and guide. So that's the pointer that Ravi is saying. We have somebody saying, Rohit saying A, B, C, D. Now D, we have become indispensable, right? So that's the point. Then I had put that. Now is Shekhawat says truly said ABCD appear plays very significant role in today's competitive world where established executives image itself is a challenge task. When study has happened in the IIM. So that's what he says. Then we have somebody from Sunil saying, yes, in all senior, good evening, welcome. I am present. So thank you for joining. And the few points, true listeners, listening matters. So this is where we spoke about listening is what I think. And yeah, these are the comments that I have. So those are the pointers. Any pointers that you want to address, Arti, before we summarize what we've been speaking for the last 45 minutes?
I think we have been able to communicate well. There are not many questions, but people have definitely reflected upon what we have discussed, and all the very best to each one of you. And in case if you want to know in detail, then do connect with me on PM. And I think we have another
8 minutes.
message also.
Yeah, okay. I'll just look at it. Great reminder to keep. So this is one message from keep genuine smile. It connects with everyone, right? So
I
uh,
fully agree with you, Sugandha.
with this, I think what I would like to take some of the pointers that I have noted down as key takeaways. Executive image is not final polish. It's long-term leadership assets that starts from day one in your career is the first takeaway is what I said. Now, 360-degree image spans appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence is what ABCD that we spoke about. All are aligned with your values and your business strategy. That's what we want to say. And in high stake moments, the global context, your image either strengthens or weakens stakeholders' trust, often faster than the words that you speak. That's the point that we want to say. CXO readiness presence can be built deliberately through audits, habits, coaching, not just natural charisma. So these are the pointers that, as Aarti rightly said, I've brought up a scan code where you can connect to Aarti, where that's the speaker profile she has on LinkedIn. You can scan it to her and you can connect to her and have a discussion when how you want to look at image building. She's been an advisor for Power of Knowing for last 2.5 years now, and it's great having you, Aarti, here. And thank you for joining us today. Any final words that you want to add before we conclude?
So there's another, I think,
Yeah,
comment here, a question. So could you please read it so that I can address that?
how can we eliminate misinterruption during group discussions?
Very good question, Praveen.
Ravi.
How can we eliminate misinterpretation? So first, which we discussed earlier also, listen more and speak less. So many times we are in such a hurry to reply that even before people complete their sentence, we have already started framing an answer or a reply in our head. And that is where the knowledge, that gap happens. So, and when we are not listening completely, we are actually shutting them off, and that is where the misinterpretation happens. So people do not like when we shut them off, knowingly or unknowingly. Like when Prem said in a cross cultural situation, even please sounds rude. So think about it. When we are not letting the speaker complete what they want to say, people feel that they haven't been given, they haven't been respected, or their opinion hasn't been respected. So always stay in the present moment, listen carefully, take a pause. There's no hurry. Leadership doesn't demand that, being a leader doesn't mean that you have all the answers. Take a pause, make your assessment, mental assessment, and then respond. So that is what would save you from misunderstandings in the group.
Arti, thank you for that. And with this, we are at the top of the hour, and we would like to conclude our session. And Arti, thanks for being here. It means a lot for the support that you have been giving us all through these 2.5 years. Thank you for the support, and audience, thank you for being here. It's great to have you connect and speak the pointers that you want to get clarified with our speaker Arti. And good day, and see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem. Thank you once again for inviting me, and thank you each one of you. I'm truly grateful that you have uh, invested your time. This 1 hour, as I said, your time is the most precious resource, and you have given it to us, listening to us. And I hope we have been able to add some value. Do let me know, comment, or send me a PM. I'm just a message away.
Thank you, Arti. Good day. Yeah.
Bye.